Hi guys, this is Vol, and this is Flash vs. Savior. Yes, that's right. According to Gossip Gamers, the famous replay website for Brood War, we've got a game here between Flash and Savior, two very popular and very good Korean StarCraft pro gamers. And the map is Fantasy, so a bit of a blast from the past, really, because Fantasy is a bit of an older map. It's one of those very interesting maps because it's a four-player map, four start locations, and each start location has a slightly different entrance, slightly different natural, and each of the naturals are sort of based on various other maps of the past, so it's quite an interesting one. And of course, Flash, Terrans, Savior Zerg, Flash purple up the top right, Savior red down the bottom left. And actually feeling a bit disappointed today because I downloaded all of the VODs for the OSL semifinals between Fantasy and GG Play, but unfortunately there was something wrong with the VODs and I couldn't actually get them to load up in Windows Movie Maker, so unfortunately I can't bring you guys commentary, a full-fledged commentary on the OSL semifinals like I was planning to this weekend, so yeah, very disappointed about that, but instead I'm going to give you Flash vs. Savior. So how about that? Flash vs. Savior, and there's Savior's second Overlord, so with that in mind, you can probably expect him to be going for that 12 hatch with the second hatchery before spawning pool. And let's have a look at Flash's build. He's building a lot of SUVs there, and he isn't actually getting a barracks or a refinery at this point, so very interesting. Maybe he'll be going for a 14cc, is my thoughts. Here comes Savior's second hatchery there. And he'll probably be putting a third hatchery down if he decides to, just to the southeast of that particular hatchery there. But I mean, he might go for a two-hatch build also. And here comes Flash with his SUV out here. So this looks to be a 14cc and very, very risky build against Zerg. I mean, you can do this at TVT fairly safely. You can't do it in TVP, really, because it's so easy for the Protoss player to counter you if you do that. But against Zerg, you're just pretty much gambling and really relying on them not going for an early pull. In a 9 pull or earlier will just defeat this build very, very easily. We've seen players do this. Notoriously, Jadong often goes 9 pull when other people are doing 14 CCs. I've seen him do that in a couple of different games. I think he did that against Flash recently. He did it against Boxer. And just shows you why it's such a gamble of a build. But if it pays off, I mean, if you calculate it right, it's great. And what Flash is probably thinking here is that Savior really likes his 12 hatch or three hatchery style builds, and he's really betting on the fact that Savior's not going to try anything risky against him early on. And I guess that's why he decided to do it. It's paid off. Both players sending worker units out here, trying for the bottom right location, and I realised that they haven't actually found any opponents there. Savior is indeed going for that third hatchery over at the other mineral patch, which is defended by his natural there. And there's Flash finishing his CC, just timing his SUVs just right so they finish up there. And there's his first barracks. Hasn't got his refinery. He's just going for the 2 barracks there straight away to get as many Marines as he can. We've already got six or so Zerglings out. In fact, that looks to be about 8 Zerglings if I counted them right. They're hard to count. So Flash desperately putting down the bunker very quickly. Well, it's not desperate, but he's putting it down as quite fast as he can there because he knows that he doesn't really want to get overrun. He wants his gamble to pay off here, and it should be able to pay off. He should be able to get that bunker up in time, and those 8 Zerglings won't be able to get past. It just remains to be seen whether Savior decides to do anything really risky here and really tries to get in the offensive. He can see that bunker there. Flash has got the ramp blocked by 2 SUVs, so nothing is going to happen there, and Flash is going to have an economic advantage here by getting out that command center so quickly. On the other hand, Savior's gone for a 3 hatch, so that's not too bad, and now he can just focus on pumping drones, knowing that his opponent isn't really in a position to come out and attack him very quickly. So both players doing quite well here. We've got Savior blocking his ramp, so Flash is scouting if his SUV can't actually block past. He's even brought a second drone in just in case there's a bit of a fight there. So that's cool. Flash will be in the dark as to what Savior's doing up in his main, but what Savior is doing is just going straight for that lair, straight for that very standard Zerg plane. You'll probably see him put up a spire after that. And, SUV just wants to hang around the base for as long as possible to get a bit of intel. Obviously just scout out to see whether there's going to be an opportunity to move in with some Marines, or if he just needs to hang back or build turrets or whatever. And still can't get the SUV into the main, so he's going to be a bit disappointed about that. But he won't be disappointed about the fact that his SCV's hung around for so long and breaks through the Zergling line. It's a very nice play. Flash putting down his engineering bay in his third barracks now, getting some comsat stations up, so even if the SCV fails at his scouting job here, he is going to be able to scout out with some comsat stations. The SCV's still alive. He's probably going to see that building just to the left of this hatchery here. And it is a Hydralisk den, so he knows that. Oh, and a Spire, so he's actually seen that. Flash would have seen that, and I'm really, really surprised here that Xavier has actually put down that Spire right next to where the SCV was scouting. Pretty odd. Maybe he just wanted to give that piece of information away deliberately. It's always a possibility, but I mean, he had the option of putting that Spire in his main instead, where the SCV couldn't see it, and making Flash have to guess whether he was going for a double or just the Hydralisk den on its own. So, there you go. Flash moving out now with a group of Marine Medic out into the field. He's going to be able to kill these Zerglings, so Xavier making a bit of a mistake there attacking. Flash didn't really lose any units there. This is good here by Flash because it forces Xavier, of course, to put down those sunken colonies. Won't be able to get away with just undefending his natural, keeping it open. Flash taking a look up the top left for any additional hatcheries from Xavier. He's not going to find any. And we're still in the three barracks, but we've got the factory going down now, so wasting no time taking up. He's getting +1 weapons, and of course he's getting the third barracks as we saw. I still can't find that extra base. Now he knows that the Mutalisks are going to take a while to get up and running, and Flash quite likes to have a group of Marine Medic out in the field while he keeps some Marines on defense at home. So that will actually minimize the number of turrets that he needs. We'll see how that works out, and I still can't see any actual Mutalisks here from Xavier, so maybe Xavier's plan is actually to go all out on the Hydralisks and deliberately fed Flash the information about the Mutalisks to force him to go turrets. In the meantime, not actually building it. And Flash actually just scouted that hatchery there. He didn't see any Mutalisks, so maybe Flash has actually caught on to this and will not build any turrets as a result. I can't see any turrets around his base for now. Mind you, even if Xavier was going Mutalisks, well, actually, no. If Xavier was going Mutalisks, Flash would need the turrets right now, pretty much. And there's the expansion. I like how he's expanded up there after the SCV's finished scouting. That's quite cool, because then Flash has to either send another SCV back up there or try in a different location, and it just gives Flash more of an opportunity, it gives Xavier more of an opportunity to get away with having an unscouted expansion there. Double evolution chamber going down, so it's interesting that he's gone for that. I think he's gone for that because mainly he hasn't had to invest in Mutalisks. That's the trade-off here. He's going to switch strategies and really pile down on that, and Flash has caught on to it. Flash is not a dumb player, he's a very smart player. He's realised that he's not going to be under assault by Mutalisks, so instead he's just investing all out barracks and tech. So this is actually going to be a pretty tough game. It's going to be quite grueling later on when we get into the late game, because this is going to be two big economies against each other. And Flash is getting plenty of bunkers down just in case there's a quick lurker attack. But nice play by Xavier here, actually getting some Zerglings into Flash's main and scouting around to see what's up. He sees that Flash hasn't had to invest in turrets, so he knows that. He knows that Flash has almost got his first vessel out, thanks to this quick facility. Xavier, of course, heading some drones up to the top left, heading a lurker up there as well to defend against it. He's got 4 hatcheries up, basically, in 4 different locations now, so his economy will really be trucking along. Flash has got the advantage with that early command center, but still he's only going to be in 2 bases, and he's probably going to stick on 2 bases for quite some time. But of course, everybody knows that Terran players can get away with a lot on just 2 bases. They've got plenty of ammo to use. And this looks like a pretty tough defense going down right here from Xavier. It's a very defensive play that he's really pulling out. And whoa. A lot of Marines there, and Flash splitting up his Marines to get a position. Xavier cleverly pulling back his locals. He knows that he can't actually take on those large amounts of Marines with those lurkers. That's actually a real novice mistake that I see a lot of very weak and maybe very new StarCraft players do, is they just assume that as Terrans their Marines won't be very good against lurkers. That's not actually true. If you control your Marines correctly, a decent number of Marines with medics and upgrades will wipe the floor with a couple of lurkers. So, yeah, I mean, you see very good players just pull back their lurkers when they're heavily outnumbered by Marines. So there you have it. Bit of insight there from TVZ. Now, we've got some more barracks going down. It looks like a whole lurker